So now we are moving over to the next part of this course, the economical part. And economy is the base for a company. I mean, you don't run a company to just run it. You do it to also to earn money. That's the purpose. Even if you have some other goals with the activity, loss-making companies doesn't survive. So it has to be a profit. And that's why you are targeting that all the time. And it's a base. Money-wise, it's the base of what you're doing with your company and so on. It's a purpose that it at least should be some small profit, but preferably a bigger profit, so maybe it is for you to live on, or maybe there are many people who will live from there, doesn't matter. Each company is an important thing for the purpose it has been created, and that's how you are working. Now in this part of the course we will first talk about different types of companies. Now both here and overall for this part I want to point out that there are different laws in different countries, and this is not a course for a specific country, so we will not go deep into these local laws. Different countries have different laws, and if the country is divided into states and so on, they may also have different laws. So based on all of this, you have to find out where you are, or where you are going to run your company, exactly what laws are actually for you. And selection of type of company is an important thing. Maybe you already have a company, then you most likely will continue it, but maybe you should change the type of company also. Or if you don't have a company, then you have to find out what type of company you should have. After we have talked about type of company you should have, we will move into the economical sides of your project or your business there. And the first thing we look at is the profit and loss. That means the money coming in and money going out, which is your money or the company's money. Will it give a profit because you get more money in than you get out, or will it be loss because you're spending more money than you're getting in? The second part of the economy comes after that, and that is the balance. The balance accounts. Balance are the assets you are having minus the debts you are having, and there will be some balance, and this will change from time to time, and you have to keep an eye on that also. And the third main part in that group of issues in economy, we will talk about the cash flow, which is very important. The cash flow is not about profit or loss, it's not about the balance in the accounts as such, but it's about, do you have money to pay for the things you need to pay at the time you need to pay them. Basically it's like that. How much cash you have in hand or in bank accounts to pay at given. So this is the third thing of this part we'll talk about. After that we'll move over to the budget. And the budget basically should be made in two parts. Even if they, in some documents, will be put together. But practically it's good to have two parts. The first part is the start phase, up till you're up and running, because when you're starting up things, they normally look a bit different than when you have it up and running. Very often it's just money going out initially, and then some little maybe is coming in depending on. So this is important to see separately. And then when it's up and running, then you have to have a budget for maybe 3 years or so. It's a good thing to have, not only for 1 month or 1 year. And people do sometimes mistake. They don't make a budget, they just start something, and then they be surprised. If they're lucky, it's a profit. If they're unlucky, which many are, and they realize that this was no good, and they will try to close down everything. But that was because they didn't do the homework. You do the budget so you don't lose real money. You do the budget so that you theoretically can understand, am I having a good project or not? And after that we'll go into financing. How can you get money into the company when you're starting up? If you have all money in your pocket and you can spend it now, no problem. But if you don't have it, where are you going to get the money from? How can you do it? We will talk a little about that. And who is then doing the bookkeeping and other things like that, economic issues, and who knows the laws and so on? Can you handle it yourself or someone else in the same project as you? Or do you use an external part, like say a chartered accountant or someone of these bureaus who are giving some service, or there's some online services and so on? This is also something you need to think of. And I'm mentioning it here, and I will not go too deep into that, but that is something you have to think of when you're now planning for economical thing. Who is going to handle this? And then there are many legal issues. And as I said, different countries have different laws. So different types of companies, some type of company you can have in one country but not in another. And the same, let's say in USA, different states have different laws. So it's depending on what you are doing, there are legal issues. And you have to also understand that there are legal issues for many aspects when it comes to economy. And remember, if you do it wrong, apart from losing money in the company itself, if you don't fill reports in time and so on, and the tax authorities and the company authorities or whoever is going to need to have it, and everywhere else, then you can also be fined, very high fines. So you have to understand, what does it mean to have a company, what do I need to do economically and so on, and do it right. And there are also legal issues. What are you allowed to do in the company and not? One example, if you have a limited company or something that functions that, but maybe I name something else in your country, then you can, as a owner, borrow money to the company. But in the most countries, you cannot borrow money from your limited company because it's a separate entity and the owners are not allowed to borrow money from the company. And that you have to understand these things. You don't think, oh, there's a lot of money in my company and I need to pay something here. No, that's not there. And all these legal issues, please study them. Please find out. Talk to a chartered accountant if you, or someone else who knows these things, or someone who has a company who knows these things good before you start. And finally, the whole idea in this economic part will end up is that you should do a budget for your project. You should make a budget. Now, I will give some sketched, simplified examples to you, but you have to find out all the income you can have and all the expenditure you can have and all the other issues there. And you should base them on what you have learned to discuss up to now. And I already want to tell you, the one main issue when you're talking about budget is that many people who do a budget, they misunderstand how much they're actually going to spend for running the company. They will say, okay, I will buy so-and-so item, I will pay 20 something for it, in whatever currency it is, and I will sell them for 40, so I have a 20 profit. Is that the truth? No. Because you will pay fees here and there, you will pay taxes, you will pay all this, you have to run your IT, you have to maybe travel, you have to do 1,001 things. And because of that, maybe buying something at 20 and selling at 40 is not profitable. It looks fast if you're an amateur and doesn't know how it works, but when you make the budget and put everything in, then you can see in advance, does it look plus or minus working out well or not? So this is a very important part, economy. So work hard on this part so you understand and get things right.